What if I told you the only way to make her regret losing you is to become the man who no longer cares if she does? Sounds cold, right? But that's what real power looks like. Emotional detachment, mental clarity, and complete self-mastery. She didn't break your heart. She exposed the cracks that were already there. And now you either use the pain or the pain uses you. Right now, you're replaying everything. The text she stopped replying to. The energy you gave that was never returned. The loyalty she asked for then didn't match. You're not going crazy. You were just emotionally invested in someone who saw you as temporary. And that's the first lesson most men never learn. You can give her the world and she'll still walk out like it meant nothing. Why? Because women don't value effort. They value energy. And when you give too much, you lose the very power that attracted her in the first place. She didn't fall out of love. Nope. She recalculated. She scanned your weakness, sensed your emotional availability, and made a decision. Maybe she found someone else. Maybe she just got bored. Either way, she expected you to chase, to beg, to spiral. Don't give her that satisfaction. This video isn't a pity party. This is war, not against her, but against the weaker version of you that let this happen. We're going full stoic. No more chasing, no more crying, no more checking her socials to see if she's happy without you. From now on, she gets nothing. No closure, no response, no energy. You cut her off and then you focus. You rebuild. You transform. And when she finally realizes what she lost, she'll come crawling back. But you'll be long gone. Not out of spite, out of evolution. This journey has 10 steps, 10 mindset shifts that flip the game upside down. You're going to learn how to detach like a king, focus like a killer, and move like a ghost. You'll become unshakable, not for her, but for you. If you're tired of wasting your worth on someone who couldn't see it, if you're done rewriting your value for someone who couldn't read it, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I rise from my pain. Number 1, she was never yours, it was just your turn. Let that sink in. She was never yours. It was just your turn. That phrase stings, but it's also the gateway to your freedom. See, the moment you treat a woman like she's your possession, you've already lost. You've chained your peace to someone else's emotions, someone else's decisions. But a Stoic doesn't attach his identity to anything he can't control. And you couldn't control her. You never could. You thought loyalty meant permanence. You thought effort earned commitment. But in this game, emotional investment doesn't guarantee returns. That's not how attraction works. She was with you because at some point your energy aligned with what she wanted, not who you were, what you represented. Excitement, comfort, status, escape. Whatever it wasn't permanent. When that value faded in her eyes, when the mystery died or the spark dimmed, she recalculated. She moved on. And if you're honest with yourself, you felt it coming before it happened. Here's the hard truth most men never accept. Women don't leave when they're gone. They leave when they've already replaced you emotionally. The silence wasn't sudden. It was surgical, slow, strategic, and you stood there hoping it was a phase. Nope. It was a transition. You were an experience, not a destination. You were her lesson, not her legacy. Now, here's the shift. Don't get bitter. Get better. Don't try to reattach. Detach with purpose. She was never yours to begin with. But your time, your energy, your identity, those are yours. Reclaim them. The Stoic man accepts what is, not what he wishes it was. He doesn't mourn lost control. He simply stops wasting effort trying to fix what was never built on truth. Number 2, emotion is the enemy. You want to know why she had the upper hand. Emotion, not hers, yours. Every time you reacted, every time you broke down, every time you begged, chased, or over-explained, you handed her the playbook. You showed your cards. And the more you felt, the less power you held. That's why Stoicism teaches emotion is the enemy. Not because you should be numb, but because feelings unchecked will sabotage your judgment. Let's get one thing straight. She didn't leave because you weren't enough. She left because your emotions made you predictable. She could read your mood like a billboard. You became emotionally transparent. And in her mind, predictable means replaceable. Because in attraction, mystery matters, control matters, restraint matters. You broke every rule the moment you put your heart where your mind should have been. Anger, that's fuel for her ego. Desperation, that's validation. She still controls the narrative. Sadness, that's emotional leverage. You think being raw and real will win her back, but to her, it just proves you're still stuck, still weak, still orbiting her gravity. But here's the twist. Emotion is a weapon. The Stoic doesn't suppress emotion. He contains it. He redirects it. He filters every feeling through reason. When pain hits, he doesn't cry out. He studies it. When rage rises, he doesn't lash out. He channels it. Emotional discipline is the highest form of strength, and it's the one thing she never expected you to develop. So, stop venting to people who don't care. Stop sending long texts she'll never read. Stop trying to explain yourself to someone who stopped listening. You owe no performance. You owe no proof. Your new currency is silence. Your new language is focus. Your new vibe is unreadable. She'll feel the shift before you say a word. And trust me, that silence, that stillness, that calm, unshakable presence, that's what makes her panic. Because the moment she senses she no longer controls your emotions, the power flips. Number 3, obsession is weakness. Let's call it what it is. You weren't in love. You were obsessed. There's a difference. Love is connection, growth, alignment. Obsession is fixation, control, desperation. And the worst part, she knew. She saw how you overanalyzed her texts, how your mood shifted with her attention, how your entire sense of peace depended on her validation, and that obsession, whether you said it or not, rare of weakness. Obsession flips the dynamic. It places her above you. It warps your vision, shrinks your world, and makes her the center of your identity. You stop building. You stop evolving. You stop living. Your routines collapse. Your standards drop. Your mind becomes a prison. And she's the warden even when she's gone. That's not power. That's self-erasure. From a psychological standpoint, obsession is rooted in scarcity. You fear you'll never find better, so you cling harder. You replay her in your head like she's some once-in-a-lifetime miracle. Newsflash, she's not. There are millions of women. But there's only one you. And the longer you orbit her, the more you abandon yourself. A Stoic doesn't obsess. He observes. He lets go of what he can't control. He redirects his energy to what matters, his mission, his discipline, his inner world. Because here's the paradox. The more detached you are, the more magnetic you become. When your happiness no longer depends on her presence, that's when you become dangerous, unshakable, desired. So, how do you kill obsession? Starve it. Cut the supply. Stop feeding her image, her posts, her memory. Block if you must. Not out of spite, but out of survival. Replace fixation with routine. Replace longing with legacy. Replace her pedestal with a mirror. Because the truth is, the woman you're chasing isn't even real anymore. She's a fantasy, a highlight reel in your head. You fell for the illusion, not the reality. Time to wake up. Number 4, the power of the cold shoulder. She's waiting for a reaction. Any reaction. Anger, sadness, closure, a breadcrumb of emotion she can still feed on. But you give her nothing, just silence, just distance. That's the power of the cold shoulder. Not as a petty tactic, but as a psychological reset. Because silence isn't weakness. Silence is dominance. See, when you go quiet, her mind gets loud. Every unanswered message, every story you don't watch, every moment you don't show up starts to build pressure. She starts wondering if you're hurt or if you've moved on. She replays how things ended. She reconsiders her decisions. That's when regret creeps in. Because the cold shoulder isn't about freezing her out. It's about showing her you don't need to speak to make an impact. Your absence says everything. Most men beg. Most men plead. Most men turn into emotional slaves when they feel rejected. But a Stoic man, he disappears, not in weakness, but in power because he doesn't chase what removes itself from his life. He doesn't explain himself to someone who stopped valuing his voice. He doesn't return to where his presence was taken for granted. Here's what dark psychology understands. The human brain craves resolution. When something ends without a clear explanation, it creates a cognitive gap. That gap becomes haunting. She'll fill it with anxiety, regret, what-ifs. She'll wonder if you found someone better, if you ever cared, if she ever really mattered. And the more she tries to decode your silence, the more power shifts in your favor. Don't give her a window. Don't crack the door. Don't text on her birthday. Don't check in just to prove you've matured. Nope. Your cold shoulder is the final message. The strongest response is no response. She'll feel it deeper than any words you could ever write. Number 5, turn pain into a project. The heartbreak isn't the end. It's the beginning. The pain you're feeling right now, that's raw energy. It's fuel. You can sit in it and rot, or you can shape it into something unrecognizable. That's the Stoic way. We don't run from pain. We use it. You turn it into a project. Something real. Something visible. Something so powerful even she has to stop and watch. Right now you've got chaos inside you. Rage, confusion, grief, shame. But that chaos is clay. Mold it. Turn your pain into a physique that makes people stare. Build a business that makes you untouchable. Master a skill that sets your future on fire. That woman broke your heart. Fine. Let her name echo in your discipline, not in your breakdown. Men who sit in pain without purpose become shells. Men who channel it become legends. That's the difference. Pain isn't personal. It's a test. And you get to decide what it produces. Tears or transformation, complaints or conquest. You think she's watching your story, checking if you're okay. Nope. She's only paying attention if you're thriving. She wants to see if she still matters. The only way to win this isn't by telling her you're good. It's by showing the world you never needed her to level up. Let your results do the revenge. Let your glow up speak for itself. Because here's what happens when you stop chasing the past and start building your future. Her curiosity turns into regret. She realizes the man she left is not the man you've become, and trust me, nothing haunts her more than seeing you do better without her. Number 6, your energy is currency. You've been spending your energy like it's free. Giving attention to someone who barely acknowledges your existence. Pouring emotion into a person who saw your love as optional. Let me make it clear. Your energy is currency. And right now, you're broke. Not financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, because you've been investing in someone who gave no returns. Every thought you give her, every time you check her profile, every time you wonder what she's doing, it costs you. It drains your focus, kills your momentum, wrecks your self-worth. You're not just heartbroken, you're bankrupt. Because energy once spent doesn't come back the same. It either builds you up or it burns you out. A Stoic man guards his energy like gold. He doesn't waste it on people who take more than they give. He doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't chase what walks away. He chooses where his energy flows because he understands this. Wherever your energy goes, your life follows. Think of it like this. If she can ghost you, disrespect you, and still live rent-free in your head, you're the one paying the price. You've got to treat your mind like sacred ground. If she's not adding to your peace, she doesn't get to occupy your thoughts. Period. You're not here to prove your worth to someone who couldn't see it. You're here to protect your worth. You're here to build a life so full, so focused that her absence becomes irrelevant. And when she finally tries to come back, she won't recognize the man you've become because you stopped spending your energy on her and started investing it in you. Number 7, you were the prize. She made you feel replaceable, like you weren't enough, like losing her was some kind of punishment. But here's the truth she'll never say out loud. You were the prize. She didn't leave because you lacked value. She left because she couldn't see it clearly through her own ego, distractions, or immaturity. But her blindness doesn't lower your worth. It just reveals her lack of vision. Let's break it down. You were loyal. You were present. You gave effort, time, consistency, things that most men won't even bother with. But when a woman doesn't recognize the value in that, the problem isn't your offering. It's her awareness. She mistook comfort for boredom. She mistook consistency for weakness. She thought she could upgrade, but all she did was downgrade in disguise. You're not some random option in a sea of guys. You are one of one. The man who stood by her when others flaked. The man who cared when others were cold. The man who kept it real in a world full of filters and lies. That's not desperation. That's integrity. And that's what she'll miss when the smoke clears. Because no amount of attention from the next guy can replace authentic presence. And eventually she'll learn that the hard way. But your job isn't to wait around for that realization. Nope, your job is to remember who you are. To see yourself clearly even when she didn't. To walk like the prize you are. Head high. No bitterness. No chasing. Because you don't chase when you're the value. You attract. And when you level up with that energy, it hits different. Women feel it. People respect it. The world reacts to it. The only reason you forgot your worth is because you handed it to someone who couldn't hold it, reclaim it, protect it, live it, and never let anyone fumble you again. Number 8, her guilt will haunt her. Right now, she's silent, detached, maybe even cold. She's pretending it doesn't affect her. Acting like walking away from you was nothing. But let me tell you something she'll never admit. Guilt doesn't show up right away. It creeps in later. Quiet, sudden, relentless, and when it hits harder than heartbreak. She might post like she's thriving. She might flirt with the next guy. She might laugh louder, look better, seem free. But all that noise, that's not peace. That's distraction. The truth always comes back around, especially when she realizes you didn't chase, you didn't beg, you didn't perform, you went silent, you elevated. And that silence, that's what gets loud in her head at night. Dark psychology teaches us that people don't feel guilt when they hurt someone who's still stuck. They feel guilt when they realize the person they left didn't need them. When they see you focused, sharper, harder to reach, harder to read, that's when the questions start. Did I mess up? Was he really that bad? Did I throw away something real? And those questions don't go away. They loop. They torment because she remembers your loyalty, your presence, the way you showed up. And she compares it to what came after. That's the moment she learns. Regret is silent punishment. But your goal isn't revenge. It's evolution. Your goal isn't to hurt her. It's to become so emotionally untouchable that her absence becomes your growth. And in that growth, she breaks. Not because you tried to hurt her, but because she hurt the one person who would have never done her dirty. And she knows that kind of loyalty doesn't come back. Not twice. So no, don't send a message. Don't remind her what she lost. Don't try to force closure. Let her carry that weight. Let guilt do what you no longer have to. Let your absence teach the lesson your words never could. Number 9, focus is the new revenge. You want revenge, good, but not the petty kind. Not the emotional outbursts, not the rebound games, not the toxic flexing. That's surface level. That's weak. The real revenge. Focus. Lock in so hard on your mission that you become unrecognizable to the version of you she left behind. You don't need to make her hurt. You need to make her irrelevant. Right now, you've got a window, a pocket of pain that either breaks you or builds you. Every time your mind drifts back to her, snap out of it. Pull it back. Reinvest it. Put that energy into your purpose, your physique, your grind, your vision. Not for her, but for you. Because when you're focused, you're dangerous. You're not scrolling. You're building. You're not watching others win. You're stacking your own. Stoics don't seek revenge. They embody it through discipline, through clarity, through results. You want her to feel something. Let her feel your absence in full color. Let her watch you rise without her. That quiet, relentless evolution. That's the pain that lingers. Because while she was out trying to replace you, you became irreplaceable. And let's be real, nothing haunts someone more than seeing you thrive where they expected you to fall. She thought you'd stay stuck. She thought she was your center. But when she sees you focused, locked in, ascending, that's when she starts spiraling because now she knows she wasn't your reason. She was a distraction, a temporary detour. And the real you, he was just waiting to be unleashed. Keep your head down. Stay cold. Keep stacking. And when the world starts noticing, when the success is loud, when she comes creeping back, don't even look her way because by then you'll be so focused her presence won't even register. Number 10. When she comes back, don't. She will come back. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but one day when your silence gets louder than her ego, she'll reach out. It'll start subtle. Like a DM, a hey stranger. Don't fall for it. Don't answer it. Don't even entertain it. Because by the time she returns, you should be so far gone there's nothing to come back to. This is the trap. You grow, you elevate, and then she senses your glow up and tries to slide back in. Why? Not because she's changed, not because she suddenly realized your worth, but because the emotional supply she used to feed on, it's dried up. And now that you're detached, now that you're cold, you become attractive again. But that attraction isn't real. It's about her, her comfort, her curiosity, her control. And you're not an option anymore. You're the man who evolved past her. Dark psychology teaches us that once you emotionally remove yourself, the power dynamic flips. Your silence creates uncertainty. Your absence becomes scarcity. And when she feels she no longer has access to you, that's when she starts reaching. But stoicism kicks in here. Just because someone returns doesn't mean they deserve a place in your new life. Forgiveness is peace, but access is a privilege. And some doors should stay shut permanently. When she comes back, she'll expect the old you, the one who answered fast, who needed closure, who still held hope. But instead, she meets a man who no longer has space for her in his world. Not out of anger, but out of evolution, not out of hate, but out of self-respect. You don't owe her another chance. You owe yourself the discipline to protect the man you've become. Because if you go back, you break the contract you made with yourself to never shrink again for someone who couldn't see your worth the first time. Growth means never looking back. Not because you're bitter, because you're beyond it. You started this video broken, confused, hurt, obsessing over someone who couldn't see your value. But if you've made it this far, you're not that man anymore. You've shifted. You've seen the blueprint. You've tasted the power of detachment, the control that comes from silence, the strength in focusing on yourself. This isn't about her anymore. This is about you, your evolution, your energy, your discipline. Because every time you put your peace in someone else's hands, you lose. But when you take it back, when you go cold, when you go silent, when you rebuild in private, you become untouchable. And that's what Stoicism is about. Not being numb, but being unmoved, not heartless, but in control. Let her wonder. Let her scroll. Let her sit with the silence while you rise, while you rebuild, while you create a version of yourself that doesn't just survive heartbreak, but dominates because of it. This is your reminder. The most powerful man in the room is the one who feels everything and shows nothing. If you're ready to lock in, rise above, and never let her or anyone drain your energy again, do what you need to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss a drop, and comment below one final time. I am no longer available to the person who broke me. This is Stoic blessing. Stay silent. Stay focused. Stay dangerous.